Well, welcome to Dragon Naturally Speaking. We're going to be talking about three types of voice recognition, as we said. My name is Traynor, and I've been running the blog Pit Rehab since I think 2007. I got involved with speech recognition because of my diving accident in 1999, where when I was using a computer, I had to use a mouse stick, and you were talking Bill about hunt and peck typing.
Right.
Imagine typing with your mouth, because it was before my arms actually came back. The first type of speech recognition software that I used was Dragon Dictate, and that was in 1999. Now I'm up to Dragon 10. I use Professional. I don't normally use a headset when I'm at home. I just use my laptop, the microphone built into it, and that works efficiently. But I do tend to get better recognition with the headset microphone. So let's get started. Wake up. Close the window. Close all tabs. Mouse click. Minimize. That's strange. Start Microsoft Word. We'll just go over the top of it. Scratch that. Set font to 20. This is an example of using Dragon Naturally Speaking in order to type. Period. I'm not exactly sure why the screen is moving side to side. Seems like it fixed itself, period. As you can see, I'm getting really good recognition, but I'm also speaking in clear, concise sentences, and the room is fairly quiet. Now, if I just keep going on and on, Dragon will eventually catch up with me, so that I can speak as quickly as someone able-bodied can type. Period. Select all. Delete that. This is a test of my microphone. This is a test of my microphone, period. Stop listening. Wake up. This is a test of my microphone, period. Close the window. No. Start Dragon Pad. Maximize the window. This is a test of my microphone, period. Select microphone. Bold that. Select microphone. Underline that. Select microphone. Italicize that. Stop listening. I don't know what was up with Microsoft Word there, but it was giving me problems, so I just switched over to Dragon Pad. Same kind of thing. I'm sorry?
That's Word for you?
Yeah. But I do want to go back to Microsoft Word in just a minute for inserting tables and things. But as you can see, anything you can do with a mouse, you can do by voice. It's just using the proper command. Have any of you really used voice recognition before? This is all kind of new. If you have any questions, just shout them out. I mean, it's a small group here, so we might as well make it.
Do you have control over the window? So, can you grab the window and move it? Or is that a little bit?
I can minimize it. I can switch applications, things like that. But as far as grabbing it and dragging it, I'm not really sure that I could do that.
Like if you forget a comma or something, can you tell them where to go back to and add a comma and you have to redo it?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Like if you forgot to put a comma in somewhere or something, can you go back and add that without having to redo everything?
Absolutely. I'll show you that. Wake up. The question was, could I go back and edit a sentence, period? Select back, comma, go to end of line, new paragraph, stop listening. One of the things you want to remember when you're doing any type of dictation work, that microphone's always on and listening to you unless you tell it to go to sleep. So if there's background noise, it's going to try to interpret that as either text or a command. So if you forget to turn your microphone off and you're working on a document, you're going to have a line of gibberish if you answer the phone. It's just something to keep in mind. Wake up. Wake up. Close the window. No. Start Microsoft Word.
Problems and names like pre-programmed or named to customize it or...
Stop listening. They're pre-programmed. They're intuitive, like maximize the window. If you want to start a program, you say start and say the full program name. If, like in our case, I had it say start Microsoft Word. If it was a different version like Microsoft Word 2010, whatever it is in your start menu, you have to say that specifically. So I changed the name of the program to just Microsoft Word. Wake up. Insert a 3x4 table. Name. Press tab key. Blog. Cap that. Press tab key. Email address. Press tab key. Greg Traynor. Press tab key. Stop listening. Now, a lot of things that you enter repetitively, like I enter my blog address a lot. So I made a custom command, a shortcut, where I'm going to wake it up and say, just enter my blog. And it'll put the whole address in. Wake up. Enter my blog. Press tab key. Enter email address. Press tab key. Stop listening. That could be your home address. It could be your signature, like if you do a lot of business letters and you want it to be sincerely, and your name, your phone number, your cell, all that. You can do that with just one command.
Now, does this work as well with spreadsheets at all, or is it mainly just with Word?
Yeah, you can use it for Excel and all that. It's really incredible the things you can do, because like my fingers don't work at all, but I'm able to use a trackball mouse. So I'll use a combination of keystrokes, the mouse, and voice to be productive.
Right.
So you don't have to do everything by voice. You can if you want to. Some things it's cumbersome to do by voice, because you have to say such a long command. So I use a combination of keystrokes, the mouse, and voice whenever I'm working on a document. Okay. Wake up. Go to end of document. My favorite teams are New Line, the Pittsburgh Penguins, New Line, the Pittsburgh Steelers, New Line, Penn State University. Select the Pittsburgh Penguins through University. Bullet that. Unselect that. Stop listening. So it's real easy to do things that in Microsoft Word you have to click around 5 or 6 different places. So as a person with a disability, and I work with a lot of people that have disabilities and are going back to school or to go to work, they can go to an employer and say, I can be just as productive as anyone using the right type of software. So that's basically the idea, is that you can do a lot with voice. It'll do all of your dictation. You can move around in your document just by saying new line, new paragraph, bold that, underline that, all that kind of thing.
And you can use all the commands like above your document as well. I'm not saying you can go through all of them, but
right, to like click file and save as, and all that, or print.
Or I see there's the sort thing. If you want to alphabetize that, so if you were to alphabetize your 3 bullet points, obviously Penn State would come first, P's before T.
Right.
So if you want to do that, you could do that with voice.
Right.
Okay.
Right. One of the nice things with Dragon, you can save a lot of time, like searching on the internet and things. Wake up. Wake up. Close the window. No. Search the web for Pittsburgh Penguins. The official web page. The official website, Pittsburgh Penguins. Stop listening. So by the time you would go to the internet, type in, Google Pittsburgh Penguins. I've already done it by voice, and that'll work for go to Wikipedia, Google, YouTube, any of it. You can search products, like if you want to purchase something.
Do you find IE easier to use, or Firefox, or any of them more friendly for Chrome? Or
I only use Internet Explorer personally. I don't use Firefox, but I'm sure the commands would be the same or similar. Let me give you an example about this. Wake up. Wake up. Find a website about deer hunting. Search YouTube for service dogs. Search Wikipedia for Pittsburgh Steelers. Stop listening. So, those are things that other people would take 5 or 10 minutes to do, you can do instantly.
Could you show us how you would navigate through that now?
Sure.
How would you scroll down? How would you scroll down a little bit? How would you scroll down a full page?
Wake up. Start scrolling down. Mouse click. Start scrolling down. Page down. Page up. Scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll up. Must just be one page.
When you said scroll down, it did go a little bit, so. Or page down.
Page down.
You said.
Now, what would happen if you wanted to click on a segment? Like if you wanted to click on, let's say, where it says North Division.
North Division. Baltimore Ravens. American football conferences.
Do you have an example of a site that's well known at all that you get frustrated with, that's impossible to navigate?
Stop listening.
Do you have any specific websites that you'd like to view?
Websites that have a lot of links are sometimes difficult. Let's try a newspaper, for example. Wake up. Search Google for Pittsburgh. Search Google for Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Stop listening. Hang on 1 second, because that's in my click Post-Gazette link. I went to my favorites and got it. Wake up. Page down. Page down. A dad monitors teams. Stop listening. So it got it this time, actually, when you're trying to...
What about the voting? I saw that voting on the sidebar. Could you...
Wake up.
Does that work the same way?
Go back. What sidebar were you saying?
On the left-hand side, like you can access that the same way as everything else. So if you just said, I don't really have an opinion, would it select that?
I don't really have an opinion.
Oh, well. Oh my gosh.
Vote. Stop listening. So it depends on the website and how the link is set
I
up.
wasn't sure if it would select that text or if it would know to check the radio.
It checked the box. But you never know. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to use Dragon too. Like you can tell it to wake up, or you can say start listening. Just like you can do any number of commands different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So it's how you get used to it. But like it wouldn't listen to me on Microsoft Word a minute ago. So I don't know what was up with that, but it goes back and forth. Sometimes it works.
Now, so you could do like for an eBay search or something like that if you wanted to, I don't know, find a bicycle or a shirt or something like that.
Yeah. Search eBay for bicycles. Stop listening. So I mean, it is a real time saver. Can you X out of this stuff? Just get me to my desktop, and then X out of the internet. Everything just a big X. There you go. Yep. No, close them all, please. Yes. Okay. Start. Wake up. Start Outlook. Check for new email. Check for new email. Arrange by sender. Stop listening. So you can use this for productivity as well with your Outlook Express. It'll sync. If you want to send a new email, you can do it very easily either through Outlook or just through your home page. Wake up, close the window, dismiss all, send an email to Elizabeth Traynor. Service dogs. Press tab key. Don't forget to make the reservations for Friday in Harrisburg. Explanation point. Otherwise, we're sleeping on the street. Send. stop listening.
You know, there I know sometimes words so weird.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. It said WERE, but it didn't.
Yeah, I didn't check it, but I could have corrected that. But I just wanted to show you an example of how quick it is to send an email to someone.
Okay.
You just say their name, you know, whatever you want to say, and hit send. Of course, I went to your work email address, but that's okay. So you can use Dragon any number of ways. I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on Dragon because I want to show you guys a couple of other speech-to-text software. The next one I want to go to is Windows Speech Recognition, and it's already on probably your laptop or computer. If you're running Windows Vista or Windows 7, it's already free on your system. If you go into accessories, ease of access, it's under Windows Speech Recognition.
Do you know anything how to use for Mac?
Mac has Mac Speech, but it's a program you have to buy. I'm not all that familiar with Mac Speech. I do give presentations on it, but I'm not a so-called expert on it.
Could you explain where to find that on Windows 7 again?
Yeah, go to All Programs,
Okay.
then Accessories, Ease of Access, and Microsoft Speech. X out of Dragon, and then just double click the Windows Speech Recognition. After that
You could run Dragon Bar and the Windows 7 Speech. You could run that just with this regular microphone, right?
Yeah, you don't need a headset microphone. If you have a microphone built into your laptop, you should get good enough speech.
There's a way to test things and make sure that sites are accessible, like websites are accessible, things like that.
Right. Now, with the Microsoft, the commands are a little bit different. If you say wake up, it doesn't recognize that. It wants you to say start listening. Start listening. Start Microsoft Word. Show numbers. 24. Okay. 20. 20. Show numbers. 24. Okay. 20. Stop listening. Now, this is the free program I was talking about. It's Microsoft Speech. In order to get my font size to 20, I had to have it show me the links. And that was what the show numbers was. I picked what the font size number was and then changed it to 20. Whereas Dragon, I would just simply say, set font size to 20. Okay, so it's just less bells and whistles. But this program's free. Okay. Start listening. This is an example of using voice recognition software from Microsoft.com. Period. It works just as well as Dragon Naturally Speaking, at least in my opinion, period. Select opinion, bold that, cancel, bold that, cancel, unselect that, go to end of line. Using Microsoft voice recognition would be an easy way for someone who has difficulty spelling or typing to complete their term papers for college, period. Stop listening. So, I mean, it works good. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, I see that as is that Bluetooth?
This is Bluetooth.
So you could be thinking your thoughts and blogging while you're in the kitchen.
It's funny you said that, and she's laughing because every morning at 6 a.m. I'm usually in my wheelchair having tea, and I put on the Bluetooth headset and I do my blog. And I'm walking. I still say walking. I'm walking around the kitchen dictating my blog. Yeah.
Nice.
But the headset's not necessary, but it makes it convenient. If I'm leaned back, doing a weight shift or whatever, it's still able to hear me. But again, if you have a microphone built into your laptop, that's sufficient for the voice recognition. And this program's free and probably already on your system.
Have you seen any problems people have with accents or recognizing the accent?
No, I work with a lot of people with different accents. People that are hard of hearing have a distinct accent. People who English is their second language. Friends of mine who have CP have a speech impediment. And the good thing about these programs is you train it to your individual voice. Now, I don't know if any of you have iPads or the iPod Touch. The iPod Touch, you can download a free app that has Dragon Naturally Speaking on it, and there's no training involved.
For that, you'd have to have a newer generation iPod.
You have to have not necessarily newer generation iPod Touch, but you do have to buy a microphone. I bought one on Amazon the other day. It was $8.95, and it works fantastic on my iPod Touch. If I'm out at Starbucks, I'm able to answer my email through my iPod Touch using Starbucks free website or free Wi-Fi. So, any questions about the free Microsoft Speech? It's basically the same as Dragon. It just doesn't have all the bells and whistles.
How much does Dragon typically cost?
I've seen it in Target, just the bare bones Dragon minimum program. I think it was $25. All the way up to the one I use. I use Dragon Naturally Speaking Professional, and it's several $100s.
And that's what this is that you've been showing us?
The one that I've shown you is Professional.
Okay.
That's a pretty good investment considering a Magic Mouse is $70 or whatever.
Right. I mean, everything's expensive, and
it's all relative in how much you use it, though.
Right. I use it every day. I used it all through grad school. I mean, I did my scholarly paper with it and everything, and it works really well. But if I was a kid going to college and didn't have a lot of money, I'd use Microsoft Speech. It's free. It works out great. Use it in combination with the mouse, and you're in business. Let me show you guys one other program. Start listening. Close the window. Close window. No. Stop listening. Will you X out of this and start word key for me? Now, this is a program, Word Queue and Speak Queue, that individuals with learning disabilities that would have a difficult time training Dragon Naturally Speaking would benefit from.
Where it is?
Okay.
I have a quick question about you having Elizabeth. You had to have her close that. Why is that? What could you do with yourself?
I closed my voice recognition, so I'm going to start another voice recognition program, so I don't have any program.
It's not.
Yeah, once I close the program, it's no longer going to listen to my
when
voice.
You start up your computer. You can do that yourself, though, right? I mean,
right.
But you'd have to go over to the.
Right. I would have to go over to the computer. Yeah. Do me one other favor though. Start Microsoft Word and then click on the microphone. I'll do it. I'll do this. Yeah, like once I click Dragon or click Microsoft Voice, then I'm in control of the microphone. This particular program works best, I think, for individuals with learning disabilities who have a difficult time reading and training Dragon Naturally Speaking. Period. The biggest benefit to this program is it actually reads you the training program, period. But in order to correct its mistakes, you have to highlight the problem word and re-speak it. In other words, you cannot correct it by voice. Period. By having less commands, people do not have to learn the program as well. And as you can see, you still get pretty good recognition. Period. Stop listening. Oh. Click the mic.
Okay.
And in this, there you go. In this program, you can't say wake up. You can't say go to sleep. You have to physically click on or off. Another benefit that this program has is word prediction. Are any of you familiar with word prediction? Yeah, exactly. If I would click on words and then I was physically typing, say the word communication, and I put in COMM, a list of words will come up for communication, and you hit the number of the words you want. So if they have difficulty with typing or spelling, this is an added benefit for that. This word queue and speak queue doesn't have all the bells and whistles. You have to buy both programs in order to get the speech recognition. Together they're about $300. So it's a pricey program, but for people with learning disabilities that want a much simpler program and still have voice or word prediction, I find that this is a good program. That's pretty much what I wanted to go over with you guys today. Were there any questions coming in on the web? Or okay. Do you guys have any questions about anything or something I can help you with?
Not knowing anything about any of these, typically for someone who's moderately computer savvy, what would you say the learning curve in terms of time would be to get at least functional with it? Maybe not an expert, but at least operational.
What frustrates a lot of people is when they're dictating to the computer, it's actually a learning curve on how to dictate, speaking in clear, concise sentences, getting it in your head before you say it, not mumbling or slurring. And if you're going to use Dragon or the Microsoft Speech, if you don't correct it, it will not learn. So say you were saying Greg Traynor, and it was spelling Traynor, Trainor. And if you don't correct it by voice, it doesn't learn. So it will continue to make the mistake. Some people get frustrated on having to go back and correct it. The time that you spend the first 2 or 3 weeks getting a very good voice print, it does take time to correct it. But then going forward, it's well worth it. To answer your question, I would say Dragon Naturally Speaking probably takes a good 2 weeks of diligence of correcting common phrasing mistakes. The difference between ice cream and ice cream, if you're dictating that a lot, or two TWO, 2O, TO, or 2O, you have to correct those mistakes. And some people get frustrated and think, well, it's not really worth it. Other people, like myself, who use it all the time, make the corrections. I get a good voice file, and then I'm very productive at it. So if you take the time with it and correct its mistakes, I always say Dragon's like a 2-year-old. You have to train it, you have to correct it, and then it'll work really well for you. But if you get frustrated, or if you get a corrupt voice file, say you're trying to dictate in a noisy dorm room or an office that you're sitting next to the printer and a printer's kicking on all the time, you have to have a quiet environment for this stuff to work.
Does it recognize multiple voices that multiple users were going to use it?
You can have multiple users, but each user will have to train it to their specific voice. And when you open it, you have to open that specific user. Like I have a voice file for the headset, and I have a voice file just for the laptop itself. So it depends on whether or not I'm wearing my headset, which one I open.
Does it remember all the training from version to version, or do you have to like modify it? Or?
You can save your voice file and import it or export it. But to tell you the truth, every time I get a new version of Dragon, I just go through the training. You know, the training process only takes about 15 minutes. It has a few like passages that you read. Like they have John F. Kennedy's inaugural speech, or Dogbert's theory of management, or they have several passages that you can choose from. It doesn't really take that long. And then you can put in words that are specific to you or your organization. Like for my blog, pit rehab, I had to create that word, things like that. And I do the custom command so that I just say enter cell phone number, and it puts my phone number and things like that.
Do you have to, as you're talking in chunks, like you would say something like, today we are going to the store starting at 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. Then we're going to the park at 2 p.m.
When Dragon was first out, whenever it was dictate, you had to speak each word. But Dragon actually works better if you speak in clear, concise sentences. But you could, say today is Sunday, August 19th. You can pause. You don't have to get out an entire complete sentence. You can say bits and pieces, 2 or 3 words at a time. The Dragon will understand you just fine. But it is better to speak in a sentence. Yeah.
If you're a naturally faster speaker, will it keep up with you?
It really will. I don't speak all that fast because I have limited lung capacity. But if you get in the habit of just talking in your normal voice, Dragon will keep up with you fairly well.
For a college student, a friend who couldn't stay today, daughter, college student, who has some learning disability like dyslexia, really can't use a keyboard very fast at all, then it seems like that's a really good option for her.
It really is. Because you can also have Dragon read back what you said. You can just say, read that, and it'll read it back. The reason I didn't do that was it would come into my headset, and you guys wouldn't be able to hear it anyway. But you can select, say you write a paragraph, and if you have dyslexia, you may have transposed a word here or there, but if you read it back to yourself, it'll make sense to you. So yeah, you could have Dragon read that back. Another program you might want to mention to your friend is Kurzweil 3000, and that's a program that she can get her textbooks on, and the program will read her textbooks.
Kurzweil?
Kurzweil, Kurzweil 3000.
Okay.
And it's an excellent program for people going to college with dyslexia that learn better through hearing than actually reading.
Will the schools buy some of these programs for the students? Or?
Yes. If they contact the Office of Students with Disabilities, they'll probably refer them to the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. It's a state agency. And if they have a disability, a documented disability, they go through that.
I went to Texas Tech, but I got CDs for French for my labs because I'm not supposed to use headphones because they're damaged to my ears, and I didn't want to turn it up too loud and make it worse.
Right.
And I didn't have to go through for that. I'm actually going to go VR right now trying to get hearing aids for me.
Sure, then you're familiar with that. And OVR would do a send them either to my company, Pit Rehab LLC, or to another company for an assistive tech evaluation. And we would prescribe the necessary hardware, software to make that person successful.
You said that was Kurzweil, Kurzwell 3000?
WEIL 3000.
Kurzweil Kurzweil.
Right. Where's mine?
I'm sorry?
Well, it's a German. They give it a German form.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
In German.
I'm not sure. But there's so much technology out there available to make, not only people with disabilities more productive, but I mean, if you're a slow typist or if you have trouble spelling, I have a college professor that was never very good at typing. He got Dragon Naturally Speaking last year, does all of his emails, does all of his lecture notes for class, everything, and he absolutely loves it. It's not just for people with disabilities. It's a very effective tool for productivity.
And I do some teleseminars, and I was thinking using my Bluetooth, it would eliminate sending it out for translation, to get it back in a hard copy form. It would automatically transfer it.
Right, you would no longer have to have it transcribed for you. Yeah, because you're talking and it's typing.
And I have to edit slightly anyway, so why not edit the typed version as opposed to sending it out and editing?
Right, less work. Yeah, absolutely. And I would try the Microsoft Speech because it's free and it's almost just.
Can this be used in any chat rooms like AOL?
Absolutely.
And I see you've got Skype on there.
I do a lot of presentations to college universities through Skype. And of course you wouldn't use Dragon for Skype because you're just talking. But
I mean, even Skype has the chat in the bottom.
Yes, and Facebook. I do that. I use Dragon for my Facebook and everything. So yeah, I hardly ever hunt and peck type anymore. I just do it all by voice.
I was a little late, but did you talk about your company? What your company does?
I really didn't. A little bit about my company. I was injured in '99. I broke my neck and I'm paralyzed from the chest down. So I went back to the University of Pittsburgh and I got my master's in health and rehabilitation sciences. In 2007, my brother and I started Pit Rehab LLC, and we see people with disabilities mostly through the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. And we prescribe assistive technology to either help them go back to school or to go to work. Anything that person needs to be successful. So we handle the assistive technology.
Have you ever worked with Working Order?
I'm familiar with Working Order. I haven't personally worked with them. But yeah, I'm familiar with them. Pittsburgh's a small area, so if you're in rehab, it's a real small community.
My business manager through Working Order.
I've got some business cards here. If you guys ever have any questions or need any, give me a email or call. I'd be happy to help you out. If you find you're having trouble with your voice recognition, we're happy to work with you. No big deal at all.
Yeah, I've done a couple projects where they were very strict about it. Had to be accessible, and I think it's just the way that I've done websites and the way that I build websites. I assume that they are
right,
and because I don't use just straight graphics and things like that, I name everything.
That's perfect.
But I never thought to actually test them out with voice recognition software.
With the links and things, it would make it more accessible for everyone. And I mean that's what we're all after is universal design, so that everyone can get in, see what you have to offer. As a customer, buy from you. I always laugh whenever I see a threshold step on a business. It's always like a sign that says, no wheelchairs allowed. And I'm thinking, how expensive is it to put in a threshold ramp? And I would go in there and buy something if I could get access to your establishment. But
like if you've ever tried to go to Los Angeles, you have to walk up a flight of stairs. I didn't see an elevator, and I was like, my mother-in-law just has a bad knee, and she couldn't even get in here because of all the stairs rolling.
Yep. Yeah, it's really ridiculous that places aren't accessible, or even on the web, like you were saying, making sure that everything is screen reader, adaptable.
It's very important.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's a huge business market out there. a lot of people are losing out on opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you all so much for coming, and
Very much.
I appreciated the dialogue and the conversation.